Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Sorry about the little break. Fires. Again, thank you, Fires.
I would like to pretend like it would be the last time, but there's this unfortunate fact that he lives in California.
You could say
Anything
this
could happen.
LP is rising from the ashes. Thank you, I'll be here all
10
day.
out of 10, good job.
Alright, well,
You fully embraced the Ace Attorney pun.
we're gonna start Trial Ladder after learning about more stuff relating to the DL6, or DL6, oh my god, sorry, me and him were talking earlier, a moment about this. SL9 incident.
I shouldn't have made that joke, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we had Emma run off because she doesn't want to be a part of that, the SL9 incident, I guess, again, and, we brought Mr. Marshall
Mr.
to the
Cowboy
stand
in, yeah.
as we found his blood in the earlier investigation because the first part of the trial former, I don't actually really remember too much what happens.
Basically, you were trying to grill Meekins over what happened in there, and we saw the video over and over.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, thank you. I was trying to remember.
That Marshall would know something.
I was trying to remember who was on the stand.
54th, 12:14 p.m. District Court.
Yeah, I was trying to remember
9.
who was on the stand. Once you told me who was on the stand, like everything kind of just came flowing back to me.
I don't think Meekins shows up this time.
Sorry, I'm just making sure I record. I have to every time. I get scared that I don't. The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. Emma didn't come back, scientifically speaking.
Let me call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of crime. The crime.
Hey, you're not allowed to have alcohol in here.
Witness, please state your name and occupation and get rid of that alcohol. No way, compadre. Me, partner. Oh, it's one remain, same as you. One cradle civilization. Occasionally help the elderly cross the intersections when needed. Yes, we get it.
Oh, I know. You're a patrolman. What's your name?
That's my name. Listen hard enough. You hear the howling wind calling out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. He's not even gonna bother anymore.
Howling wind. I've never heard Edgeworth described that way.
Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner.
Oh, what do you mean?
Desperado souls, bound desert sands. The paper can sum it up. Translation, he was playing hooky.
Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. My brain can't take this lingo. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain old English!
Objection, hombre. No can do. Day of the crime. My job was to where I'm the boat. So much plain old English.
Yeah?
Instead, I was supposed to look rounds 3 times a day. Be my style. Besides, the check for 2 security systems anyway. Remember, I was a freestyle saloon. Time went down. Just an innocent traveling man. So, if you're out of ammo, it's time to hit the trail.
I mean,
I'm not entirely sure what he said.
Neither am I. I can't say I particularly care for your attitude.
I can't say I care for your beard if you don't see me complaining.
Whoa, his beard is
Okay, he's out of line. Get him out of here.
His
Guilty,
beard
guilty.
is magnificent. He's just jealous because he can't make one. That's why he's always, cutting it with the machete.
Keep shaving it down.
Also, he has a weapon in court. Hello? Wait a minute.
At least he's not attacking anyone with it.
What do you mean by 2 security systems?
I mean, security cameras and the ID card reader. And even a cowpoke like you knows about those.
Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks in the evidence lockers?
Fingerprint activate locks. Got newfangled doohickeys of those.
I only know about the tumbleweeds. He's not being very helpful.
good at machines or following orders. What got the weaknesses? Now don't they, Mr. Prosecutor?
His
Getting accused for murder.
His two main flaws literally are counterproductive to his job.
Yeah. Yes, his worst job he could have ever been assigned to. Like, I realize this wasn't his original job. He got demoted to it, but still.
True. I mean, even his other job is still kind of, banks on it. Less so, but still. This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours, mostly because I can't figure out the damn word he's saying.
Deal with the crime.
Yeah, let's see the flavor text that Mr. Phoenix has to say. Okay, I have a trump card up my sleeve. I do my best to keep my cool. Before I use it, though, I'd better up the ante. Basically, what he's saying is, accuse him for everything! Hold it!
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
How exactly did you keep an eye on the evidence room?
Just when you turn on the moving security cam monitor, the room's so still. Even time dies in there. Just the caretaker who interred the recordings.
You interred them?
Videos of nothing aren't that useful. When the time to come, I'd erase the tape.
I mean, that's what you do.
Yeah, there's only so much space. Nothing unusual is recorded. Tapes are to be erased every 6 hours.
Why don't these guys have those fancy tapes where it only records when it has movement and stuff?
I mean, 2005, that might have been asking too much.
You say that, but don't you remember Turnabout Samurai?
Oh, you know, fair point, I don't know. Each time I'd erase tape, felt like I was erasing part of my life.
This guy has a flair for the dramatic, but it isn't gonna do him any good. So in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room? I mean, I don't think he needs a card, right? So.
No.
Yeah, you're supposed to make the rounds. Hold it! But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right?
Ain't you heard a word I said, partner? It's old Kramer style.
It ain't my grace. You have a funny face. Ellipses. I'm afraid I don't understand.
Joe Desperado, I know, lets rules get in his way. How do you do the job?
Yeah, seriously. No desperados I know enjoy the police force. So, Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime?
Between you and me, ends up in the evidence room that day.
How do you even get in?
Good question.
Oh wait, no, he has one of those cards that doesn't track it, remember? That's how we got in.
Is that not tracked though? I thought it was just a guest card in our case.
I don't know if it's tracked. I mean, it wasn't put on the thingy. I don't know. That's a little bit of a gray area, I guess. Or at least we weren't, like, completely informed. There was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that?
That partner, can't say I do. And then that crypt in weeks.
I mean, a crypt is a pretty good description for it.
Yeah.
How does this guy avoid being fired? Good question.
I've been asking that basically since he stepped up here. I hope Gabe is watching.
Hold it! You used to be a detective, so you used the evidence room in the past, correct?
Of course. Back in the day, Malacca was a gold mine of evidence.
Of course, of course. And yet, you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism? I mean, maybe it didn't exist at the time.
So that partner, ain't good machines. Couldn't tell you how a bike works.
I mean, you just pedal it and the wheels move. Come on. That's
Pedal.
quite,
Why are you talking about flowers, man?
incredible.
The sensors in the locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence.
That's kind of fishy.
I mean, yeah, but why would the guy in charge? Why would he not know?
Yeah, that's true. Now that he mentions it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that too. At any rate, it doesn't seem that this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing the day the crime took place? Yeah, he was at the street side saloon. Whatever the heck that means. Hold it! What were you doing in a place like that?
I was eating spaghetti.
Of course you were, because it's a spaghetti western.
Not even angel steak lunches could beat that part of this Vongoil sepia pasta. I hope I pronounced that right. I have no clue what that is.
Do you mean to tell us you abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles?
They were delicious, hombre. Not all desperados eat tacos, partner.
That's not what I meant. I hope this is at least taught you a lesson. That's strange.
Yes, like that, I'll eat tacos.
This is usually where Edgeworth says, "Did you not want to raise this year?"
Did you not want to race this year? Are you happy now?
Was it traveling man? Hold it! Out of ammo. Officer Marshall?
Right, partner. Or did you call it evidence? If you plan to pin me to this crime, you better draw. Otherwise, just wasting my time. I can go back to doing anything other than my job. A steel horse, waiting to carry him back west into the sunset. It's only 10 in the morning.
One thing seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, you are irresponsible! The witness doesn't appear to have seen anything.
Texans don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that. We don't even take orders from other Texans.
Apparently your superiors don't. Okay, I have a trump card. That's not cool. Before he's better up the ante. Alright, so let's try to find a contradiction. It looks like that's what we're gonna be looking for.
Yes.
Let's see. Let me look at my evidence just to be kind of like... So this is what we're gonna keep for last.
You have a lot of evidence. Yeah, that's your definitive evidence. No, you can't talk your way out of this.
We don't need the security video. I'm almost certain. Did we actually read the SL9 stuff, or were we just given it?
I don't think so. You just got it the way in because we were kind of pressed for time when we recorded that.
Yeah. Okay.
So go ahead, check it out.
Let's see. Yeah, because I know it was the Joe Dark murderers. Incident number 9. SL9, close, perpetrator Joe Dark, crime serial killer, yeah, sentence death, makes sense, serial killer, Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Edith Kirby, Rachel Moss,
Kirby!
Jeb Bates, Neil Marshall, ooh.
Oh, that's gonna come up.
Neil Marshall, okay. A head prosecutor, Miles Edgeworth, we know that. He said it was like his first big one.
Yeah.
Lana Sky and Emma Sky were witnesses. Ooh, Emma had to witness some terrible stuff. I could see Lana. I wonder where Emma comes into the investigation task force. Damon Gant. Okay.
Yeah, we knew that at the time he was an investigator.
Yeah, head investigator Bruce Goodman. So he was the head investigator, and then Angel Starr and Jake Marshall. What about the fourth guy we saw in the other images? I guess there really doesn't exist, you know? So, okay. I know for now we don't have to bring this up, because nothing involves the SL9 currently. Like, they haven't said anything in particular that is important for that. Okay, so let's look at his text real quick. Let me actually look real quick here. I want to see what was on my page 2 that we could possibly link him to. We have nothing with the screwdriver just yet.
I mean, Edgeworth literally told us it was a worthless piece of evidence unrelated to this current crime. He was just stuffed in his pocket because...
Maybe it could literally be a red herring. Alright, there's a glove, yeah, extremely thin. This is just the 3D, right? 3D!
Hey, you know, he might say different things to these now that Emma's not here.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking that. SL911 is written on the tag. It seems this is more evidence for that incident. It's just little fluff. Yeah. Let's see, evidence room 4.
Fluff is nice, but it's only good if you can get that new out of it.
There's blood from all those spots.
Yes.
Okay, the fingerprints will have nothing to do with anything. It doesn't say he went
Marshall's not on here,
but
he's that bunch of 7s.
We are missing that, which could come into things. So, My job was to keep a wary eye on the bone, or they said I was supposed to make you ground 3 times a day, but that ain't my style, so he doesn't do it. Besides, the rooms were protected by 2 security systems anyways. I was at the street side saloon the time it went down. Just instant travel in man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. I mean, I do have ammo, but Phoenix said don't use it now. We had to slowly work up to it. The Goodman's lost item we don't need because we were figuring that out at the last case, right?
Yeah.
ID 5.
Here, but
let's see. None of this first stuff will really make a difference. I
mean, obviously the attorney's badge will, but
obviously, but
that's the overpowered of an item. It literally works for everything. So
I'm still curious about this jar. It hasn't cropped up yet, which is very interesting to me.
It was in the evidence room. We know that. At the very least, that's where he found the pieces.
When he said when it went down, he wasn't he wasn't there.
That is what he's saying. Yes.
Let me look at the what's it called? I don't want to press him. I almost pressed the button. Press. Because if we look here, Mike Meekins, Bruce Goodman, Mike Meekins. Does anything pin him to 440 or 450? Though is what I'm thinking of.
Well, we know Edgeworth went in at 440. Like, he could have gone in with somebody else. I guess there's nothing really stopping him from doing that. But
yeah.
Like Edgeworth said that he went in with Gant, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. They have the same time, I think. Yeah. Or whatever. Yeah. Said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day. Besides, it was protected by 2 security systems, which he mentioned was the camera plus the fingerprint thingy. I really wish we had our guest card, because I feel like that could cause a lot of things to pop up. Like, for some reason they didn't put it in our inventory, because I feel like I could be like, yeah, but I got a guest card here. Anybody could have gotten this.
Yeah.
And walked in. So, yeah. Right. Street, just innocent traveling man. I feel like this is one of the ones. It's one of these last 2 ones I feel like I'm gonna have to pay.
Yeah.
If you're out of ammo, I mean, everything's pointing to me using this kind of, but
yeah, except for that end of it where you go through where he says you need to warm him up first. That's the thing. That's what's making this difficult. I mean, the worst that could happen is you lose a little health on your car.
I'll do it, yeah, because... Oh!
Music stopped.
Objection! Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this?
Whoopsies.
After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime.
And yet you drag me down here. Blame yourself, partner. Before you get totally drunk.
Dude, there can't be that much alcohol in there. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene of the crime. I can read. Or to be exact, a handprint. Okay, so your last line of dialogue was throwing me off, Phoenix.
That's no good, partner. Like I said, caretaker to crap. Respect. That is to make my rounds about once a month.
It's very, very specific, huh?
So when that's where my fingerprints be in there.
Oh, okay. He's talking about the fingerprint. Objection! I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood! And he's...
What?
Witness! Oh, what is the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene. The blood was wiped away, however. A luminol test clearly revealed this. See this bottle? It's Emma Sky's. Look at the bottom.
Yeah, it's her name on it.
Well, Officer Marshall?
Ellipses. Seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulder.
Are you saying we're all decapitated?
Yes!
Exclamation mark!
It was me! I think you have a summation, damn it, Officer Marshall. About the bloodstained fingerprints.
I thought that was Marshall saying that, and I was really confused on why you gave him that.
It threw me off, but I saw the text bar.
Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints. Also, look at my funny hat.
It looks great. It also slightly floats.
Sometimes it floats. Found at the scene of the crime.
This testimony, bloodstained fingerprints. Upstairs, from an after my fingerprints been in Evelyn's room. And this happened to be at the same place. Bloodstained handprint.
That's very specific.
Murder touched the locker, but my fingerprint was maintained.
Yeah, okay.
Believe that. Bloodstained fingerprint completely unrelated.
This has to be one of the worst testimonies I've ever heard in this game so far.
The murderer was wearing gloves!
He was? Oh, I see. How did you know?
I had nothing to do with it.
This quite literally is one of the worst one of the worst testimonies. It's so obvious. He literally is like feeding us the information.
Like he's giving us everything we need.
Yeah. The witness's explanation appears valid, although there's room for doubt.
Judge, I'm afraid you might be going senile. I've been fun without a doubt, partner.
The defense may now cross-examine the witness. This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. I mean, Phoenix, he literally just gave us an assload of information to work off of.
And he didn't have to give us any of that, mind you.
Yeah. Let me just go to the other end and can't let him squirm out of this one. I've got to find something decisive to tie Officer Marshall to the crime. Well, there's a lot of things, like we said. First of all, I'm gonna press him a little bit because it's very, very specific that he's being like, oh well, this is a coincidence, or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's because how did you put it? Pay your respects once a month?
Yeah, that's right. And one more thing. The locker should be mine!
Did we even clarify which locker it was? We just stated there was a locker with his fingerprints on it.
I don't know if we did mention it. Like, we obviously know because we did the test.
Yeah. Oh, what? What do you mean?
I'm in West Dead! The locker used as a detective. The locker is still used.
Oh, for some reason I thought you were
those are a heap of broken dreams. Wow.
I see.
Fingerprints weren't all over the locker.
Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from that locker's programming. Also, it'd be very, very, very specific that this entire locker isn't chock full of fingerprints, and it was just that one specific area. He must have been using the fingerprint lock the entire time without even knowing it. Oh, wait. Okay. Marshall's fingerprints updated in the court record. Okay. It's just clarifying that it's on his locker.
Yeah. Well, still probably need that if it updated evidence. So.
Yeah. Hold it! So then, what about the bloody handprint?
Mine. No mystery.
Please explain.
The locker's covered with fingerprints.
You just said that.
This is what happened.
Hold it!
Alright, so how does this guy use lockers? Like, genuine question. Like, I've never used one before where I look for anything other than in the part to open it personally. So why do you have your fingerprints all over it? You just tap it everywhere. Is that what he's trying to say?
Yeah, pretty much. The chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1.
You're just the opposite. Chances are not happening are 1,000,000 to 1.
I mean, yeah.
You won't think straight, partner. I ain't gonna know a word from me from your fingerprint. You wanna know why?
Yeah? How are they unrelated? Hold it! Unrelated?
For 9 day. It's the exact same, but one has a sun in it. I'm like cereal. I didn't really comparison yet. I completely understand the point. Orange got your breakfast. Elder's type of murder.
It's not true. Serial does not, with S, does not entirely relate to murder. He's right. Although seemingly alike, they're totally different.
I guess he's never heard of serial numbers before, but okay.
Yeah, I don't see what homonyms have to do with this. Hold it! How do you know that?
Real owner. One more job. Keep up on the reports. There's a blood stain at the scene. I'll take it by the murderer.
Wait, there was no murder that took place here. Didn't we establish that?
I believe so, but yeah.
That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker.
However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint.
Yeah, I think we tried that one, or tried that too. So that would mean the murderer wearing gloves happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint.
The only rational conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner?
The picture?
Sealed blood, desert, just food for the buzzards.
Exclamation mark.
There's only one reality, and that's this.
Security tape.
As long as my trails are in there, can't say otherwise.
This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall. Oh, new line of dialogue.
In that video, right, partner?
Too bad it wasn't me in that video, right, partner? Yep. Hold it! What do you mean by that?
You want timers crime? Isn't that right, partner?
Ellipses.
If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have.
Objection! But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Blind spots? Places you can't see.
Yeah.
The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. True.
And you have that giant blue badger in the way.
If someone's familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape, which is true.
Objection! We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright.
Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now.
No, I don't think there's any evidence. Oh, we're completely on the wrong track.
I'm just saving ahead of time because we're going to have to look at this tape and remember what happens whenever we look at the tape. Nah, there's no evidence in the video. I might be walking right into Officer Marshall's trap. I better try and find out a little more information. Ah!
See, moving back to the testimony. Somebody's got cold feet.
Very well. Officer Marshall, can you please give your testimony again? I would view the tape right now, but they probably wouldn't give me the, what's it called, the fast forward features and stuff. So
yeah.
let me try to tie him to this. Objection! Blah, blah, blah. Objection! Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall.
Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake.
Now then, let's have another look at the video. Show us the incriminating evidence of the witness, Officer Jake Marshall. Yeah.
Yes.
Rewind.
Nothing that is objectively him, right?
No, I was thinking maybe this part.
No, they're going out of their way to not show his face.
Yeah. Let me play it again, because I want to have the fast forward feature. Oh, there's Meekins.
Yep. Then Meekins gonna go and beat him up. Then he's gonna get beat up.
Wait, would it be the knife?
Maybe? Wait, he's wearing gloves. In that clip.
Yeah, I mean, he said the person was wearing gloves.
Yeah. And so the knife wouldn't really help you then. Yeah, one unconscious Meekins.
This is like the end of the tape, so I keep rewinding it.
I think it has one more turn after that.
Does it?
Yes, it does.
Wait a minute.
Two. Okay,
no cloth. Cloth.
It goes a bit longer than I thought it would.
Take that! Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll not soon forget, Officer Marshall. Whatever he did was pretty fast, I must admit.
Whoopsies. Take a show in Texas and show our tempers.
No, days in Texas are 24 hours.
Definitely not 24 hours. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less?
Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video! I mean, that's in 7 words. It's a good job.
It's 8 words. Your math sucks.
I can't
You're
read.
bad, partner.
I can't read or count. Makes sense. We hate math. The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. It's right there. That locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. There's me.
The rewind is much faster than that. But I like to imagine me still in the gallery watching his unconscious body just being around. It's like, oh, I can't deal with it.
Oh, the white cloth. It's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall? When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Order!
Sorry, partner. Got the wrong man.
Can you explain yourself then? Ellipses.
Nope. So what if my lock was opened?
Have you been ignoring the whole... I mean, he is bad with technology.
It doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. Ellipses, he is so stupid! Why do we call this man? He's bad at his job, but he's really dumb. Can we go back to Meekins? The murderer needed to hide something. I opened the locker and stuck it in.
You're really bad at lying, Marshall.
Exceptionally bad. Stop or follow her up and choose mine.
Ellipses. Can we
Please
get...
tell me Judge isn't stupid enough to... Oh, he's absolutely stupid enough to humor this.
Can we get proof of your alibi?
Ellipses.
That'll clear a lot of things up.
Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man?
This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know.
He really is dumb!
I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker.
Oh yeah? Call him bluff!
I think he actually doesn't understand.
Okay, there's only one problem. We already went over this while he was in here.
You
There's
said...
no excuse for him not to know.
You said open the locker. Now prove it. Well, shouldn't I just show the locker?
Yeah.
Take that!
Fingerprint sensor.
We've been talking about that the entire time!
You idiot! We mentioned this while you were in here.
We talked about this earlier today.
Vixens also have short-term memory.
Lockers can only be opened by detectives they belong to.
What kind of crazy talk is this?
Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this.
Well, in any case, the locks aren't that obvious. The people in force don't know about the fingerprint locks.
Again, it's very suspicious because they could just take your fingerprints without you asking.
Oh yeah, easily.
So
we already did.
Exactly.
Or Emma did, at least.
So,
I have many questions about that, but you just have to think about it.
Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? What are you chewing on? What is that?
Is that the flask?
No, I don't think it is.
I only got one word for you, partner. No!
Did he die? I like how all their panic animation looks like they all die. Order, witness, explain yourself.
This is a joke. It's the worst I've ever heard.
I assure you, this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime, even though we've proved that there's been no crime.
Whoopsies. Well, we just proved there wasn't a murder. We don't know there wasn't a crime.
Sure. I mean, there actually was a crime. Knocking a dude unconscious. That's assault.
Yeah.
Olay! Please answer the question. What is he now, a bullfighter?
Hey, I would absolutely play the game with Judge and Officer Marshall as the leads.
I would too. That's alright, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here. We can? I'm the judge. I didn't know we could figure things out in this court.
Oh no!
Look at these floor plans. There's no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Actually, yes, there is. There's a
why
blind
is Blunt
spot.
Carmen here? I thought he was arrested.
Yeah. Yet, Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. If that's so, then, where was the witness?
Seems Mr. Wright doesn't answer.
That's right. My name is Wright. The only possible conclusion. Well then, let's hear it. Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime? Probably hiding either right here or right here. Because those are blind spots. Or over here. This is a blind spot. I'm just thinking about blind spots.
Yeah, so...
I would think probably right here because he would have to move past the camera. What if I do this? What if I... Take that!
Oh, the music didn't stop.
Yep. Officer Marshall was standing right here.
Oh, there it is.
Oh. So Officer Meekins didn't notice him standing there. I mean, it would make sense because
he's kind of an idiot, Your Honor.
He did just walk forward. This actually would make a lot of sense. What? That's almost as credible as Meekins' walk theory. I mean, that does make sense because he was walking. You wouldn't see him in that corner.
Your chamber's empty, partner. Better reload.
Now they're ganging upon me. Perhaps I should think a little more about where Officer Marshall was. Wait, did they take off a point of the thing? I didn't... Some of my health?
Yes, they did.
Notice. Oh, I didn't even notice. Okay.
Objection!
There we go. Officer Meekins should have seen him in the evidence room. That means the only place he could have been would be... Not in the evidence room?
Yes, he's in the gray void beyond.
He's in the void. I mean, I could bring the finger... I'm actually a little... He could have been... No, he couldn't have been the killer. Or the dude. Because he... I'm pretty sure Meekins would have told us. Meekins would have been like, yeah, it was Marshall.
What do you know? Like, how much interaction has Meekins actually had with Marshall?
I mean, screw
Or
it,
good
why
for that
not?
matter. We don't actually know.
Take that! Officer Marshall was standing right there. Nope.
No. He was not the killer. Still figure.
Didn't think he was, but... Elvis Meekins should have seen him in the evidence room. Blah,
Well, there's
blah,
only
blah.
one option. Like, obviously, he was in the lockers. He just stuffed his body in one of them.
Of course.
It would be, to be fair, it'd be absolutely hilarious if that was he just stuffed his body in one of the lockers.
Quite literally, what if I just do this? Who's standing right here? This is going poorly.
You're gonna need to make a new save soon.
I'll save right here. I don't know why I'm struggling so hard to figure this out off the top of my head.
It's not behind the door, it's not the killer, and it's not out in the great beyond.
Yeah, I mean, I still think right here would have been the perfect spot. Because Meekins would have seen him. I'm trying to think, because Meekins literally just walked from here to here. And then he got his butt kicked here. And the killer went from here to here. What if I actually do ping his locker?
Don't stop you!
I'm debating it. As little sense as it makes.
If someone doesn't say this is hurting me to watch.
I don't know. Laughing. I don't know why I'm struggling. Can I have a hint?
You were the closest when you guessed killer.
Really?
Like location-wise.
Would it be right here? No, it wouldn't. Take that! Officer Marshall. No.
You're so dumb, right? You're so stupid!
We're about to see a beautiful game over screen in a second.
Objection!
That one. He was the victim!
Of course, he was actually Meekins!
There!
That's correct!
But that is correct?
Mm-hmm.
What? That's where the victim, Detective Goodman, what? Oh! Oh! Why didn't my mind think about that? I was thinking he was the victim! Oh, my brain is stupid. Correct. Unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I was thinking the killer was Detective Goodman. Gosh darn it, I had the right idea.
Yeah.
I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. Oh, that was my controller.
I heard that.
It was you dressed up like Detective Goodman.
Objection! That's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Even he's not that stupid. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure.
Objection! May I point out that Officer Meekins didn't know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. True. When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his card, sir. Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond? He suddenly pulled a knife on me. Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it? Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it. The answer is simple. He couldn't show it.
Exclamation mark.
As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card. Oh, I get it. No, you don't. Shut up, Judge. If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall?
My flash. A beautiful flash. You got quite an imagination, partner.
It looks like almost like leather that he's chewing on.
I know, right?
We gotta. Oh, wait, that's you.
You're gonna turn for that circumstantial evidence.
Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it. How dare he?
You know, it's better not to break a detective. You should have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim.
I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition.
Can't say I care for your beard, but
damn
me complaining.
Marshall,
That's twice now. He's under arrest twice now.
I'm supposed to like you. You're making me dislike you.
Everything else about him is great, but then you see this.
Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim? Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that.
Show the fear in your eyes, partner. You're the one who couldn't take the desert heat.
Ah, this can't be happening. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do?
Ellipses.
Are you going to become the defense attorney for us again, Edgeworth? I'm taking that as a yes.
It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. It looks like you fight trials. I'll bet you what someone told me when I was just starting out. You run into a wall, no place to go, return to basics.
The basic? Is that you, Mia? Are you Mia now?
Apparently.
Yeah, see, for me, that would be what Mia used to tell me.
Oh, Phoenix, try thinking outside the box.
But I don't have a box.
Then go get one and then think outside of it.
I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather, I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. Well, that's the SL9.
Yes. Why do you think this locker was open in the first place?
What do you mean?
Was there a reason Officer Marshall opened his locker at the time of the crime? Yes, he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later as it had been.
Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker. According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason.
The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that. He opened it in order to put the cloth inside.
So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth?
I don't know, I've never seen cloth for my life, Your Honor!
Perhaps video is the key to all of our unanswered questions. I don't have any evidence, so that video is the only shot.
Whoopsies.
Very well, let's take yet another look at the security tape. Let me save right here too. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Save there just in case. And also, because I have one little thing. Please show the witness where the. Okay, yeah, thank you.
Okay, yeah. Well, he was in disguise or something, I guess. I didn't see it either, I'm just guessing. It would make sense.
There's the glove, which you didn't care about.
Dum dum.
I love this song. It's my favorite song. Alright, so we gotta focus.
The song haunts my dreams almost as much as the Badger itself. I just noticed, what is Beacon's holding? Is that a toilet paper roll?
That's a megaphone. The megaphone.
Ah, right. I can barely tell.
Which actually, speaking of Meekins, I was thinking of something with him. I just wanna confirm my suspicions. Or deny my suspicions. ID card, everything's on him. Okay. His ID card is still on him. Okay. Nothing seems too out of the ordinary so far. Love this song. It's a beautiful song.
Yes. Very.
It wasn't the outfit. Well, there's the blood, but I don't know if that really makes a difference in the grand scheme of things. I don't know why I don't just pause instead of doing this.
You really should just pause, yeah.
So I'm trying to think. I gotta think outside the box. What would he put in there? My first thought, of course, obviously would be the jacket, but that seems a little too obvious. If that makes sense.
You're forgetting something. Marshall is an idiot. We've established this already.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. It's not the glove because we took the glove.
Yeah, no, it can't be that. Unless this went back later.
Yeah. You could have taken off the outfit and then put it in there. Because we don't know what the cloth is. Whatever, I'll just point out at his clothing. I probably should do it at a spot where they're not fighting. It makes the most logical sense, so... Take that! Well, what do you have to say to that? Oh, that doesn't help.
Alright, partner. You really want to know the reason I had to open my locker?
Why?
So I can stuff you in there!
Uh-huh, that's a threat!
Yeah, Judge, why are you missing this? I'm sure the world would be a better place when you're sent off to Boneyard! Unfortunately, unsolved cases get to be stored in the evidence room.
Now an unsolved case? Oh no!
Objection!
It's enough this court sees no reason to further prolong the trial. Defense has failed to give the court sufficient reason to doubt the prosecution's claim. This court finds Miss Lana Sky guilty. Yay, we did it! We won!
Yes, I finally won a case against Phoenix, Wright. I feel so great about myself. Gunny boo.
I've already read this stuff before. Goodbye, world.
I mean, to be fair, it's what Lana wanted anyway.
Yeah, that's true. After committing the crime, the witness open the log and put away a white cloth. Please show the witness. I can't read that. It auto does it, and it's super fast.
Yeah, the game does something. Remember Old Bag?
Well, Old Bag, I understand why, but for that, I don't. Okay, let's think about this rationally. It was the hat, obviously.
Obviously, it was the blue badger itself. It was the fishing rod!
I should have known! I mean, it could have been the gloves, you know, but we can't see him take them off is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
I probably could be really stupid, and I probably was on the right track. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Like, is it because of the blood?
You can test it.
Why not? Take that! Yep, this is a different line of dialogue. For some reason, you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman and enter the evidence room, though I don't know to what end. Yet.
Yeah.
However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID, you pulled a knife on him, which is probably the one you use to always cut your beard. However, Officer Meekins panicked. And the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. A bloody white coat. You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker.
Ellipsis. Not bad, partner.
Alright, so you're just admitting guilt, I understand.
Yeah.
Throw him in the thing for withholding evidence, the slammer. Now
this is perjury if nothing else.
Yep. Are you ready to tell us the truth?
We underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. Ellipses.
This is literally all just a plan to get Edgeworth like crucified.
It all started with DL6. They were so mad they couldn't pin that on him. They had to make up a new crime to get him arrested.
Yep.
2 years ago. If you were only half as persistent as you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here now. How would we?
Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it.
Alright. Seems time's come.
Now we're probably going to get cell line related stuff.
My shell's confession. I had to do it that day. Couldn't just stand by and let it die. So detective's ID. Dress like him. Want to check out the evidence. So the person off from Richards knocked him out. America escaped. The new terrorist wouldn't be caught on camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15.
I mean,
That's right, you've been wasting the whole day. Agent's case is short again.
So the supposed victim was really you.
But there's one thing I still do not understand. There's such a large quantity of blood was found on the floor of the evidence room. No one is murdered. Then how could that be?
Good question.
Officer Meachins managed to cut his own hand like the idiot he is.
Oh yeah, he did say that.
Guess he's the donor.
Wouldn't they have tested for that?
Yeah, not to make like that's way too much blood for just cutting your hand.
Yeah.
Like you would be dead.
That's way too much blood for such a small donation. Alright, let's see the little thing that Phoenix said. I had a feeling we'd wind up here sooner or later. Everyone involved there is related in some way to that case. I'd better take another look at the files. Yeah, it's because of his dad. I'm just gonna save here in case I screw up though. How did you the day? By I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins to knock him out and managed to escape. It wasn't a murder in the evidence. The only thing that really mentions anything is I couldn't just stand. I had to do it the day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I guess I'm going to. I'll press him first, real quick, just to see what he says. Hold it. When you say it, you mean.
You have to ask, partner.
The SL9 incident.
2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was really completely ended the transferal that day. Well, if I have anything to do with it, yeehaw! That incident's not over.
But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room?
Well, the case is closed. Well, that case, the lead detective can look through the evidence. Or to have a look into it myself one more time. No matter what the cost. Okay, what it says, partner. The case is mine!
Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it?
There's my last chance. Why?
I'm gonna just pin it on that then. Because yeah, his dad was in fact involved, or somebody related to him. So I don't. Yeah, Neil Marshall. What about Goodman Starr? How about any of those names? I'm just curious now. No. Okay. Objection! Your Honor, what do you think about the witness's statement? I'm not sure I follow. It clearly contradicts the. I thought. Okay, well, I clearly didn't do anything. I'm just gonna load the save.
Good job.
Before it what's it called? Makes me go through all the dialogue. You know what? I'll press him on everything then, just so if what it does.
Oh, you still counted the fail though, right?
Oh, let me do that. Thank you.
Objection!
Object or hold it. Sorry, I heard objection, so I wanted to yell it. Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman?
I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out their evidence transferal. After the arrest for stealing evidence, won't get me anywhere. So you did the full security camera.
And the detective's ID card?
Hold on to morning incident.
That really was why Goodman started filling out the lost item report.
I just noticed that flask is clear that he was holding. So what is he chewing on whenever he's stressed?
You know? Good question.
The scarf? I don't know. Return his ID card. Left on the floor, prosecutor's office parking lot.
The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall. Makes a lot more sense now.
So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean the fingerprints activated the lock, of course. How stupid are you? No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. In normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself. Obviously, you should have asked Emma to just get the copies of everyone's fingerprints since she's so good at it.
Yeah, apparently. But he could because the rubber glove just happened to get stuck in the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. Okay, and then press him here, just get everything, hold it! You pulled the knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off?
Mr. Says was surprised. I'm planning on being the other for no more than 5 minutes. And if anyone would actually come in during a short time.
Officer Meekins certainly is a one-in-a-million type of person, mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID.
I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year. Wow, he's getting a raise and Gumshoe isn't. Oof.
When did the Edgeworth get so much influence?
Anyway, threw himself at me and ended up cutting him slightly. You attacked him first.
Yeah, that's true.
It's on video.
Well, he pulled out a knife and then he jumped on him.
Yeah. So I turned out that way. We knocked him out and everything.
Well, he didn't kill him, at least.
Yeah.
By the way, what happened to your knife?
Oh, you mean this one? Obviously still have it.
Ellipses, I don't know what to say.
Okay, Phoenix, you're almost as dumb as Marshall with that.
So you knocked Officer Meekins out and... Mitch escaped in there. Here's when I get caught on the camera yet. Hold it! So you did your research beforehand, even though you don't know how cameras work.
Yes. So she can go to Doesn't Bird and live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference, though. You're a for 6 hours. I go. We've got a plan. Where's it been left?
However,
the buddy your coat and struggle with Officer Meekins.
I feel like he would have bloodied Meekins a little too.
If someone was in the security room when I come out, check would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there.
What was Officer Meekins doing during that time?
What else? You're sleeping like a baby! Wah!
So what you're saying is, on that day... Of course. Hold it! But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place.
Oi, blood! This is gonna be the last time I get to bust some going overboard, okay? The victim shows the tapers me! I'm not dead yet, partner! So you stole the evidence from that locker. Actually, no I didn't. Why not? When they opened the locker, the evidence was already gone.
Interesting. What? Mr. Edgeworth, where's the evidence?
It's still missing, Your Honor.
Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. I had a feeling we'd wind up here sooner or later. But what about somebody's related that case? I better take another look at those files. I'm not taking a look at those files. You can't make me. Joe Dark, serial murder, death, Edith Kirby, head prosecutor, Miles, witnesses, Lana, executive investigators, head investigators, Bruce Goodman. So I think the second line of dialogue had a lot of text behind it. And the last one, which was there wasn't any murder because the evidence was taken out. You come on camera. Yeah, know that. But wasn't there a police report? Do we even have that states that there was...
Okay, I'm gonna cut you off because apparently something's going screwy. You should be able to, because what you were supposed to do, you were supposed to press everything. That should have auto-pushed you on, and you're not for some reason.
Hold it.
Oh wait, you reloaded your save, didn't you? Did you redo that one?
I think so. Oh wait, no, maybe I didn't. You're right. Good thinking. So that'd be the first line of dialogue.
Yeah, it's like, I couldn't let you start, but honestly, it's... Why?
Yeah. When you say
You've already
it,
done the requirements.
yes, yeah. Not anything to do with the incident's not over. I think this is new.
Yeah.
But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room?
The crash is closed. In our case, please detective can look through the... No, we saw this before. The first time.
When I would look one more time, am I with the cost?
Crash is mine! Yeah,
Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of the investigation. Why does he care so much about it?
Last chance. Why
This is new, okay. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing?
White partner. Free country. You know, for now.
For now.
Just remember, most for your side whether or not to answer. No, you are not.
No, you are not.
oath.
You are in the court of law, my good friend. Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer. This is no small offense.
Point over here and officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't be forgiven with a simple cut in salary.
Now that salary cuts are even a valid solution.
Oopsies. Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine! I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with.
The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more.
The script Deliveryman incident. You know why?
I'm gonna save right here just in case, but I'm just gonna bring up the case files. Might as well press them on it for a little more flavor. Hold it! The case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it? That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room.
Joe Doc was convicted for his crimes. One thing we can say for sure is he deserved his sentence.
I remember the Joe Doc case. It involved serial murders, didn't it?
I don't complain about how it turned out. Something still bothers me. But we're down that trial. Something no one will talk about. Just selfish shit.
What happened?
I don't know. I'm gonna find out. Ellipses.
Why are you so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should present him what I think his real reason is. Yep.
Okay, so yeah. This is pretty obvious.
Yeah, got the wrong button.
It's mine!
No, it's mine. This one, and then...
Then obviously the attorney's badge.
Obviously. Objection! Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident.
Sounds like you've sipping too much cactus juice, partner.
Isn't cactus juice just water?
I mean, not purely water, but it's mostly water.
I have the SL9 incident file here. The name Marshall is mentioned in here.
Exclamation mark.
In a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man?
Neil Marshall? Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago. If you're the same lousy prosecutor work you got!
Uh-oh. Oh, what? A prosecutor? You must be talking about the King of Prosecutors Award.
Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. You know the SL9 case before I did. That's right. He was killed. Case out of your hands.
But what's his relation to you?
He was my brother.
Oh, poor Marshall.
Marshall. Yeah, you know, with the hat, you can really see it.
Yeah.
He was investigating the murder of Dan McGann. Deputy Chief Police. And yeah, you can definitely see now they both have the hats.
Yep.
The group of detectives that was part of worked under them. They were desperate to prosecute the killer.
There's a bad guy.
Yes, Joe Dark. Brother fought Dark and was killed. Those were some Dark to find the evidence. That's all we're needed. He was just arraigned and incarcerated. Case was finally closed. At least going public records.
Now, what do you mean?
Brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have been him in a fight. And that's it. That's the reason for your insane actions. My brother's death was record say. No matter how much try to hide it, can't fool me. Ellipses.
Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime.
That was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Unsatisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence.
Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled.
Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day.
Exclamation mark, not a question mark.
Yes, she finally figured out what I've been telling you this whole video. The things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. Exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office. This fake murder was going on at the police department.
Chance? It's gotta be more than just that. So then if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder on the prosecutor's office's parking lot was the real one.
Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime.
Oh yes, we've only helped Lana's guy get into more shit.
Good job. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky.
Objection! But wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial.
Objection! Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today.
But...
There's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. So you have to remain the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. Seems to me, always got to draw on your partner. All the mysteries in the police department have been resolved. No doubt about it.
I like how literally we're just screwing over Lana Sky even more, and she's admitted it to it already. It just gets closer and closer to her being the culprit.
Yeah. This whole murder took place in the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Sky.
No Edgeworth, you're one.
I mean, yes. In fact, he's the most suspicious one so far. The only reason he's not more suspicious than Lana is he hasn't confessed yet.
Yeah.
The testimony is one of its angel stars, completely incontestable.
At this rate, I would expect him to be a suspect if Lana didn't already say,
he totally would be. He never responds. Make a single word or less.
No! Objection! I think it's like, I think if I had to guess, Lana is probably just trying to save Edgeworth, because he would have been, obviously, in deep doo-doo. Because it was clearly set up as if he was the killer. Ellipses. Arrgh, I'm a pirate.
I suppose that is your response then. I rest my case.
I mean, it was one word.
I
I mean,
was just gonna say that.
does a grunt count as a word, though?
Apparently so.
It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt.
Not done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you. I didn't need to waste my time.
I mean, that's probably why Edgeworth has been so quiet.
It's proof of the alleged murder that the police about. I mean, you didn't waste your time. You just didn't have to waste any effort.
True. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera tape really was fake. I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty. I mean, you had nothing about the other area to prove that she didn't do it when she explicitly said she did it. Now then, time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant. And yep.
Hold it?
Hold it.
Oh, you're alive. I was gonna she just ran away forever.
Yeah, same.
Your Honor, wait!
Did she push Marshall to the side?
I like to imagine that she's literally standing on top of him.
Emma!
The defense has an objection. Scientific objection. Right?
Yeah. What do you mean, right? Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian?
Well, considering how her sister is currently in jail, he kind of is.
Oh, Your Honor, you see.
But please, Your Honor, all I'm asking for is a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Edgeworth, please. Ellipses.
Who are you?
I don't want to leave any loose ends. 1 minute, I'll give you 3.
Ooh, how nice of him.
Clock's ticking, you better start. I was kind of in shock. I have this on my listener for to do bird killings.
Now she mentions it, Romper is barking. The names of both Sky Sisters are in that file.
That's what I figured out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day? I mean, maybe his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. I left only one thing, the other handprint. You could have mentioned that before we went and wasted our time.
Yeah, true.
You can trace some blood found in Detective Gumshoe's locker.
But no fingerprints were found on it, right?
We never brought this up in court. How does the judge know about it?
True.
No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I went over there and looked at it again, and I found nothing.
God, I hope she says that. Exclamation mark. So, did you find something?
No.
Yes!
Yes.
Huh?
Sorry. I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all.
Alright,
Why did you want to be up your time? This is a waste.
Ellipses. Is that all?
Still student.
I'm just an attorney.
You're a punching bag. We've established this. Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. Excuse me, we have a bunch of evidence, most of which seems to be useless in the court record.
Yeah.
If we can find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright, you're professional. You're safe on the jail.
Me? Oh boy, am I a defense attorney again?
Oh, God, I thought that was Edgar's job.
Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright. In regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain?
It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this? Mr. Wright, sorry, we can't be a word I use. Still, is there anything wrong with that blood mark, Lobby?
Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day. Yes, Your Honor. I need to concentrate now. I'm gonna save just to be safe.
But it needs to save it's now. Yes.
Indeed. I could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker, could it? There be something I'm missing? There is no problem!
There's no problem. Lana, you're guilty.
I've got to be honest, I don't see anything wrong with it. Still, if I go now, I was going to be convicted for sure. Objection! This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction.
Nice bluffing. The only thing that seems clear is you're grasping, Mr. Wright.
You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them? Yes, this is strange. I mean, that handprint, there was no blind spot on the camera, right? Yeah.
Hmm.
Take a good look at these floor plans. Well, I guess the blue badger was there, but
Yeah.
something is missing.
You mean something hasn't been drawn on there?
Yeah, the blue badger. Yes, something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark.
Yes, it's the blue badger.
Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Clearly you don't know Phoenix, right?
He's an expert at buying time.
Very well, Mr. Wright. All this evidence here. There's gotta be something I can use. I'm gonna say it
It's
again.
the screwdriver.
Yeah, didn't you know? The question is, which item can prove something's missing on the floor plans? I hate to do this. But this is literally it. Take that! What were you doing here?
A piece of plywood.
The Blue Badger, mascot of the
Please.
police force, defender of truth, guardian of proof.
Explain yourself, Mr. Wright.
I hate how ridiculous this is because it's so true. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger's not here.
So,
Also, what are you doing back here?
I guess both him and Emma are both the same at the same time, somehow.
So watch what happens when you put him here. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well, what?
Exclamation mark!
That's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing there, it would be impossible to place a handprint on this spot on the locker!
What?
Marshall, why are you upset? This has nothing to do with you at this point. So that means, just what exactly does that mean? It means it can't be done! What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker. Don't look at me! I didn't put it there!
Mr. Wright, they can do scientifically. Oh, okay, I guess that explains how Marshall got that.
Yeah, she teleported over here. Emma!
On that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? Yes.
Yep.
If they put down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on the locker.
So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in?
Therefore, it's irrelevant to the case. Throw it out.
In just one moment, I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom.
He's actually doing his job. I never thought it would happen.
It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation on February
But it is in fact
21st.
balderdash.
Yes, indeed. In the police department's evidence room, a blood print was spilled not once, but twice.
But how?
One time was captured on this tape by the security camera. Officer Beacons cut his hand from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is the other time. Yeah. Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered. The Cheetah Man theme is playing.
Objection! That's not the Cheetah Man theme. It's mostly the Cheetah Man theme. That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim.
Objection! The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker.
Objection! So then, this murder you propose really happened. When did it take place? And when did you show evidence that proves when it occurred?
When did the first incident occur? How about I save?
Smart move.
To summarize, the defense claims that prior to the Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as a Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room. That's right, the blood mark on the locker proves this. Very well, then tell us, when did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be provided. Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that. Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? I'll say here, because it's even closer to this. I don't know if it's just going to gate me out or not of saving, so... what shows when the first crime took place? Well, wouldn't it be the what's it called? Wouldn't it be the ID record?
Makes sense. It was Edgeworth! We knew it!
We should have known! Take that! If the crime took place inside the evidence room, the killer would have had to enter it. In order to do so, the ID card would have been required. An ID card? Oh! The ID card record. Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at, let's see here, 4:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40 p.m. Ah!
We're finally catching up to the truth. Edgeworth is guilty.
Ah! Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done?
I never would have figured you had a nerve, boy. But the ex-witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it.
Dude, you're
I'm
the
not
person.
good at
You're the person who has the tapes. Why don't you just say I saw it on the tapes? I'm afraid I don't understand either.
But tapes get raced every 6 hours. It's probably long gone by now.
That's true.
It's clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, the second crime took place. Both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood.
It was behind the Blue Badger! That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer.
It would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, then clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. Have you seen my builder? I'm not that muscular.
The crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room. And I thought we had a verdict, finally. Let's look at this chart again. I mean, who's 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. There's only one other card number remaining. 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7.
Oh, I know it's Marshall's. Talk about lucky number.
But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room? Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 77777777777. Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 777777777.
I think he did 027. Yeah, that's 7 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least at present.
What?
Warn yourself, son. You'll be guilty by a second. The ID card 7 sevens belongs to someone at the rank of captain or higher. Someone who's a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity.
Objection! But that's ridiculous. Just how?
I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There's one situation in which we can't be granted such authority.
If an official charge filed against the executive is accepted. An official charge.
Oh, like, aren't you? Your cover-ups and forgery! The prosecutor's office operates!
But this is the police.
I mean, we're kind of talking about both at this point.
Yeah.
I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I'd appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it Okay. Let me ask a question. Yes? No, not you. Her. I'm sitting over there. Your little executive.
Lana?
Objection! Don't be stupid! She's been charged with murder. Why are you... The City Phoenix, you should be overjoyed to have her talking.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, we've looked up her ID number, and it's not a bunch of sevens. Don't play him for fool, partner. Not what I want to ask. I want to know is one thing. That incident!
The SO9 incident?
I mean, this chief prosecutor, in that trial 2 years ago, you really only use legitimate evidence.
That doesn't matter in this case.
You need the witness to repeat this question, Chief Prosecutor. You are under no obligation to answer this question.
Yeah?
I think I'm fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of prosecution for that trial. At the time, occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did.
Bro, you're just making yourself more guilty. Stop.
How badly do you want to get arrested? On how many different charges? This is
Exclamation
the
mark.
game to you. Lana. I can't prosecute or suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, you're the ones being suppressed by the law.
Defendant, just what are you saying? Oh god.
Again, Chief Prosecutor.
They're teleporting.
For a trial 2 years ago. Did you really present all the evidence in court? You were me an investigator of that crime, and yeah, I'd say you did.
And Chief Prosecutor, you didn't.
Ellipses. I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Switchmark, why don't you answer him?
Because you don't have to.
Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana! Even if it involved forging evidence.
Oh, well, that's a crime.
Yep,
You're
there's
guilty.
another crime. Technically, Edward was guilty too because he presented that evidence.
True.
See? That's what I'm talking about. No! No!
Order! I need an order of pizza. Lana's remarks. The chaos in the courtroom cannot be quelled. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day.
We have another video that took over 2 hours. Or almost.
Awesome. No, an hour and a half. It's still long, but, 30 minutes less than predicted.
Well, I'm assuming we don't split it, which I don't think it will.
Yeah, no, it's fine. So, yeah, in the next part, we will be doing the Day 3 investigation. I just have to save like 20 times to be sure it saves.
It's very important.
Of course. So, yeah, thank you all for watching. In the next part, we'll be doing the last day, presumably, of the investigation, because I doubt they're going to extend the trial another day, because they're 3 days only.
Yeah.
So,
They have max limit of 3.
Yep, so see you guys then. Thank you all for watching. Chicken tenders.
Yeah, sorry, I was looking at something else on here.
Okay.
See y'all next time. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.